Hey guys, welcome back to Bullseye Investing. It's Tyler here. Today we're going to dive into the Marathon Patent Group and Riot rivalry in this video. But before we begin, and people who have been watching this channel know that I do this once in a blue moon because this channel is all about jumping straight to the point without spending half the video ranting about Weeble and Patreon and all that. But if you could hit that subscribe button, it would really help out the channel. I was looking at my statistics and it turns out 94.1% of you guys are not subscribed. So if you could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Now let's get to the video. My portfolio went up almost 8% today. I had a great day with my whole portfolio going up almost 20% in the past few days combined. And this was largely driven by Marathon Patent Group, okay? Now, Marathon Patent Group is now $22.36 a share with a market cap, over $1 billion now. $1.77 billion had a huge run up this past month. Now, in this video, we're going to compare that to Riot Blockchain, which is trading at a very close stock price, actually at $22.72 a share, but has a higher market cap of $1.534 billion. So it's a higher market cap, and it's also at this amazing tear following the run up of Bitcoin this past month. Now we're first going to base our comparison on our metric on the powerhouse of both companies, their miners and their hash rate that actually allow them to solve the calculation in order to actually get the Bitcoins, because it's a largely competitive thing. Riot has 37,640 and they're trying to build out all of these miners sometime in 2021. So they actually are not using all of these miners right now. And Marathon Patent Group has 103,060 miners on its way. So these are not there right now, but they're going to be built out by the end of 2021. Now, we need to realize that calculations are very much like this guy drilling into the binary code. They just have to brute force these calculations until they get lucky, and then they actually get the Bitcoin. That's why having more miners is more important, because you have a higher probability of actually getting the actual Bitcoin. And this is where hash rate comes in. So by the end of 2021, Riot's going to have a 3.8 exahash per second, and this is their goal for the end of this year, while Marathon will have a 10.36 EH per second by the end of this year once they build out their 103,000 miners. So clearly they have a higher percentage chance of beating the other companies to the calculation and beating Riot and becoming the biggest North American mining company. Now, as I said many times, these are 2021 goals for these companies, and then you might be asking, why is Riot more highly valued than Marathon Patent Technologies? It seems like Marathon Patent Technologies is crushing the game right now. Well, why is Riot? And we're going to go into that deeper, because this is 2021, but we need to look back to 2020 and 2019 in order to get our full evaluation of these companies. First, let's look at the profit expectations of Marathon and Riot. Riot, according to my calculations, has about $109.9 million potential profit in the future, but this is definitely a conservative estimate. If they have their profit margins high with more and more miners, their efficiency per miner gets a lot higher. This could hit 2 million, even 250 million if things work out for them properly in 2021 and especially 2022 once everything is developed. But Marathon Patent Technologies CEO Merrick Okamoto says that they'll make $523 million in 2021. Now, the other estimate was very conservative. Consider this estimate overhyped, right? He's the CEO. Of course, he wants to make his company look good. So just take this one with a grain of salt. But he says they can make $523 million in profit, not revenue. Let's take a look at the balance sheet of both companies. This is the main explanation that I found why Riot is so more highly valued over Marathon. So this is Riot's balance sheet. September 30th, 2020, they have total assets of $62 million, okay? That's their total assets. Now, here's what's interesting in my opinion. In cryptocurrencies, they have almost $9 million in cryptocurrencies. Now, I like this because if you're investing in one of these stocks, you're investing in the future cryptocurrency pretty much. It's closely correlated with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up, the price of these stocks will also go up, of course. So if they hold a lot in cryptocurrency, well, guess what? Then their assets also go up with it, and that's why I enjoy that they have a large amount of their, or a decent amount of their assets, in fact, in cryptocurrencies, rather than just cashing out every time they mine a Bitcoin. This is very strong for me because it shows that they also believe in the future cryptocurrencies, which is why you would be investing in the stock to begin with. But we also have to look at their liabilities, and they have not that many liabilities, almost $2 million, which is actually not that bad. And this is a very strong balance sheet for Riot. But now we have to look at Marathon, okay? They have current assets of total $37.5 million. But they also have digital currencies of 451,000, which is less than Riot. So their asset has less potential for growth, in my opinion. And they also, if this is a bit hard to see, I'll just read out that final value of, they have total liabilities of $1 million, okay? But if we add up their total liabilities and stockholders' equity, it equals $37.5 million. So their balance sheet isn't bad, but I consider it to be worse than Riot. And I consider them to also be a smaller company. Even though their market cap to Riot is pretty close, they're definitely the smaller company. They're the growth play, which I'll talk about in this next segment of the video. I'm going to give you the breakdown now. Marathon patent technology I'm personally invested in, and I'm up 110% this week. And I did see a lot of hype occurring, right? Because as Bitcoin goes up, Marathon should go up about a correlated amount, but it's been popping even though their revenue prospects, even though Bitcoin is going up, it's not going up that much more than Bitcoin, right? And I consider a risky investment at these levels, so I did end up trimming my position. It actually grew for a bit to my biggest position, okay? Marathon, I didn't put a huge amount of money, but it swelled to my biggest position. Though now I still hold most of my original shares, I did end up trimming at near the top prices today. Now, these stocks have many similarities. They're pretty much the same type of stock, pretty much like these two apples, yet they have different colors, so to speak. Riot is more of a stock company that has stronger balance sheet, while Marathon is a growth play with a huge potential hash rate capabilities in the upcoming year, right? They haven't developed it yet, but it's more of a growth play as they start to develop their infrastructure, while Riot isn't going to develop it as much, but they also have a lot of assets already. Another thing to note, as I'm sure you know, is that these stocks are highly correlated with the price of Bitcoin, so you could buy both as an overall bet that Bitcoin will continue to go up. Ultimately, I think that companies have a bright future, both of them, and I think that both have a large upside. However, I would choose Marathon a bit over Riot due to its really high growth potential as they build out their facilities. Now, take this with a grain of salt, right? Because I'm actually invested in Marathon while I'm not in Riot, and though Marathon has gone up a lot, Riot has too. I could have invested in both, but I ultimately chose Marathon about a week ago. But both are really good companies. I just like Marathon a little bit more for a long-term future play. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like this video, and comment. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments. Thanks for watching.